Bienvenidos a Vida en Forma, el programa que transforma tu vida. Vida en Forma. Hoy vamos a hablar sobre la primera palabra del nombre de nuestro programa, vida. ¿De qué estamos hechos? Para comprender un poco más cómo llevar una vida en forma. Y para eso hemos invitado al doctor y PhD en medicina, doctor Narain Naidu, desde la India, radicado actualmente en California, con patentes en este momento en los 5 continentes. Sus investigaciones han acompañado políticas de salud de la Organización Mundial de la Salud, ha sido asesor de presidentes como Bill Clinton en el área de salud y también de la India, países tan distantes, tan lejanos como Nepal. Dr. Narain Naidu, welcome to Vida en Forma.
Wonderful to be here, David.
Narain Naidu, we've received a lot of comments about the past interviews that we've made you in Vida en Forma, and this time we want to talk about a suggestion that you did to us. David, let's talk about life, and that's your specialty.
Thank you, because that is the only thing that we know on this planet. We can go and search in Mars, we can go and search in Jupiter, all our solar system or elsewhere. But the truth today is, this life, the beauty of life, is only on this blue planet. This is the only planet we know that there is life, and we need to not only respect it, but we need to understand it.
And you've been trying to understand it deeply in over 30 years of research. And before we started filming, you mentioned, David, you know, when I started doing this, normally people normally say, no, science will discover everything, and they leave God a little bit on the side. Tell us a little bit about your experience in those 30 years with God and this superpower that you see in your research.
Thanks, David, for asking that question, because I think that question of understanding what is life is almost like asking what is God. It is as important as that. I give you a small little 1 or 2 sentences of an explanation. Try to think yourself. Each one of you who is watching this show, think. Life is nothing but there is a small little membrane, not wall, a thin like a curtain membrane. Outside that is no life, is non-life, and the inside is life. Your air doesn't have any life. Your water doesn't have any life. Your food doesn't have any life. But the moment, even the food you do, you cook it and kill life. Once this thing crosses that membrane on this side, will become life. That is the magic. That is the magic we are trying to understand for several years. Not only me, there are hundreds of scientists. The one question is, what happens when something, your air you breathe or water you drink or the food you eat, the moment it crosses this membrane called cell. Cell is like a battery cell. It becomes life. And that is one of the most beautiful questions and most relevant questions we are trying to understand, David, and we are coming up with a new theory called bioquad theory to understand that a transfer of non-living matter becoming life. And if you understand that, we understand every life on this planet, we understand health, we understand disease, we understand life in principle.
And how does that work, the bioquad principle and theory?
Bioquad, David, it is 4 quadrants. Life works in 4 quadrants. For example, life has to take chemicals, burn those chemicals, break the bonds, and whatever energy is coming out of those bonds, it has to capture, because energy cannot be created or destroyed. Energy only transforms from one to the other. You have to capture that energy and use it for work. And that one quad is called bioredox. how you can break and harness the energy. Okay, David, then we'll go to the second quad. Whenever you are producing energy, whenever you are transferring energy, you need to have molecules to transfer that energy for work. In the process, the molecules will be expended. Whenever there is something, we have to burn something, the candle will be destroyed. Whenever you are doing anything that is with heat transfer and energy transfers, energy would destroy things around it. They form free radicals. They form energy particles. They create temperature. They kill everything around it. So there should be continuous and constant replenishment, refilling of whatever has been destroyed. That is bioreplenishment. So now the third quadrant is biorhythm. Biorhythm means if you are running, you need more energy. So more chemicals have to be burnt, more bioreplenishment to happen. Our entire medicine in the last 5,000 years, right from the ancient, whether it is the Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, or it is Ayurveda from India, or the new medicines that have come in the last 1,000 years, they are all based on biorhythms. A rhythm means they will put something on your this and say, well, are you breathing? They put your hand and say that, is your pulse right? And your heart has to beat at a particular speed. Your lungs have to breathe at a particular speed. Your blood pressure has to be in a particular rhythm. So that is the third. If you do not understand and optimize the rhythms, bio-redox and bio-replenishment, all three have to work together. And the fourth most important, another quadrant, is bioformat. Every person, a bird has to be a bird, David has to be David, and Naidu has to be Naidu. We all look different. The reason being, there is a format, which is your DNA that you get from your own parents. And that will define you, how high your height, your weight, and your possible what kind of life you are going to live. The quality of your programmed life is based upon the design you have been built. So the design will give you the space. The design will give you the body. And then the bioredox will tell you how much of energy has to be spent in this particular space to run this. And bioreplenishment will tell you how often, based upon your performance and based upon your lifestyle, how much of energy has to be spent, how much of replenishment happen, and in what rhythm you live. If you have taken a flight from Miami or from Florida and you have come here, you have changed your space and time, and you have to adjust yourself to a different rhythm. And based upon these four quadrants, you would be performing right now. And the future of this bioquad, maybe I will explain it to you a little later. So this is the principles of bioquad, and this is what this theory is Naidu's theory of bioreplenishment, bioquad theory, and we'll be introducing this theory to the world very, very soon.
It's very interesting how those four quadrants have been present in the medicine along these thousands and thousands of years, but we only now we are starting to understand deeply those quadrants.
Absolutely. David, if you look into certain our systems, the way our body works. For example, in our brain, for the brain to think, for the brain to work, they're all electric impulses. It is almost like continuously there are electric impulses like lightnings in the sky in our head. And if any of these lightnings are not happening at the right time, then you have neurological problems in the way you would understand, or whether autism or whether it is Alzheimer's. It's because that redox, bioredox is not happening. So some of the diseases that fall into this category of bioredox, usually neurological systems. And if you come into the bioreplenishment, if your gastrointestinal tract, your skeletal system or your bones, your skeletal muscular system, or your cardiovascular system to certain extent if they are not performing balancing right, then they all fall into bio replenishment category. Rhythms, absolutely the heart falls into the rhythm. If the heart is not going with the rhythm, for example, if somebody is now lost their almost considered dead, what they try to do is they try to put the rhythm first. They try to revive the heart so that the rhythm would start. And the fourth thing is bioformat. There are certain diseases and there are certain conditions, the way this body shapes and forms. For example, a disease called osteomalacia. It is brittle bone disease. It comes as a genetic disease. There are certain diseases which are genetic, transferred from your parents to you. The moment when you understand these four quadrants, you can come up with a better understanding and a better solution how to adjust and balance these four quadrants. Because every part, every system in your body, we have 12 systems in our body. Every system is important. Every system has its own role to play. Every system, when they play right, then only you will have the symphony of life. You cannot have one system and you cannot focus on one system to work better and then the side effects will come to the other systems. That is not the way. We need to think about the modern health. The future of our health is we need to make sure that there are 12 buttons, piano buttons in the human body, 12 systems that play this life. And all the keys have to be right for us to play the symphony of life in our body. And bioquad theory is the one.
And that's the future of medicine. That's where medicine is going now.
That absolutely the future of medicine, to the extent that we can predict, even using a bioquad program, we can predict what a child or what a newborn is susceptible, what kind of infections the person would get. And certain things can be very ethical and very controversial. You can also even predict the age of a person. And any person at any point of time, whether a 20-year-old, 25-year-old, 30, 40, 50, if they come, you can measure and say that which quadrant is not working right, which quadrant the person has to focus upon. And so how can you fix that quadrant? And we can actually tell them what is going to be the future prospect of that individual. It is, in other words, called as personalized or individualized medicine. That is going to be the future. The medicine is take this pill for everybody in the world. No, it's not going to be like that. You have to be in control. Each person has to be in control to know how their bodies are working, which quadrant is not working, and they should go and fix that quadrant. It is more of a health promotion, knowing your own body by yourself and then fixing it. That is going to be the personalized individual medicine the future is going to be.
Dr. Naidu, and how our viewers can benefit from what you know now and from what you've done already, that they can implement in their daily life now. Like, how can they be more conscious and how can they start playing that symphony of life in their daily life?
For me, as Dr. Naidu, is my 30 years of research, and there are several scientists who work with me. Scientists are one, but I'm not trying to say on the TV, because I'm with an interview with you, David, you can have Bible. Until the Bible is printed, until thousands and millions of copies of Bible has been sold or distributed all over the world, people did not know about Christianity. Science is the same thing. You may have the greatest discovery, you may be having the greatest finding, greatest theory, not unless somebody like David would come and let the message be known to everybody. It is not me or you who would decide how something would be beneficial to people, not until people use and see the benefit themselves. For me, it is very easy to say that my research is good, you use it. But it is not that. It is somebody like you coming and opening the doors so that people can try, people can experiment on their own bodies, people can understand their own bodies, and then they know that this is good. It is like a religion. Science and technology is like a religion. Unless you use it, until unless you feel it, until unless you integrate whatever knowledge or whatever thing that you are saying or whatever I am saying, until it is tested, until it is used, until it is integrated into one's life, nothing is useful. And that's what I would expect. I would expect every audience, every person on this planet would take in charge of themselves. Don't expect some government, some pharma company, some Dr. Naidu, some research is going to take care of you. You should take care of yourself. The only way that you can take care of yourself is if you understand who you are. I'm talking about in terms of your body, your space, and your performance. And that is exactly what you are doing. I think you are doing a better job than we scientists do. Educating and telling people what they should know about themselves. And then they can decide what they have to take so that they can be better.
And what's the importance of our emotions in that symphony of life? And what's the importance of happiness?
I would say there is a very thin line between satisfaction and happiness. Satisfaction is, first of all, if you wanted to do something, there is a glass here, and there is a goblet, and you have wine. This goblet can only take 8 ounces of wine. If you pour anything more than 8 ounces, everything will overflow. That is the capacity of that glass. The most important thing everybody should know, based on their age, based upon their performance, based on their abilities, what they can do, how much you can pour into that goblet, you should know. Then you are within the reach of your satisfaction. That satisfaction is the limit of what you can do. There are few people who push themselves out of the limit, and that is a challenge. In that, you will be happy and unhappy because, oh, I can do it, I can't do it. But my explanation about happiness is how you can perform something within your means and you can accomplish something that you wanted to do. That is, in my humble opinion, that is satisfaction and happiness.
And so you are being happy?
I would say more than happy, I'm blessed. Because not only I think whatever I could do, I was able to do it. I have been given support of so many people. I could not say that my ability is not one glass. My ability was probably even bigger than that because my professors, my teachers, my colleagues, my friends, whether they're politicians, they're industrialists, and media, people like you, for you to sit and let me speak my mind to the world, all of you have contributed to my purpose. So I'm very blessed. I'm more than happy because I have a bigger platform and I could perform with so many people coming with me together. Thank you so very much, David.
Dr. Naidu, thank you very much for sharing your perspective of life and happiness and wellness and health after those 30 years of long research.
Thank you so very much, David. When you called me for the interview, I was not having any idea, though I know about your interviews, it's going to be this much of fun. And talking to you and listen to your very intelligent questions and the way you conducted the interview. I have been in many interviews, but you are very, very special. And I truly enjoyed every minute of spending time with you.
Oh,
and thanks for this interview.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Naidu. Esperamos que todos ustedes hayan disfrutado también esta entrevista con este hombre encantador, un científico muy, muy humano y además que se ve su parte espiritual también y deja ver esa felicidad que tenemos que sentir todos para de verdad llevar una vida en forma. Nos vemos entonces en un próximo capítulo de Vida en Forma, el programa que transforma tu vida.